just know that this entire stream, every Saturday morning, is dedicated to spoilers. So if you don't want anything spoiled and you don't want to be sad, I tune out now. You've been given your warning. I'll love you to death. I'll see you on Monday for SWO and no spoiler streams over there. But for now, we're going to go ahead and start talking about Boba. We're going to start talking about Boba. You know we love Chick-fil-A here. We do. Thanks for the hydrate, Paladin. I appreciate it. So what do you guys think? What's your favorite episode so far? Out of 1 through 6? Well, I guess 1 through 4. We're only going to talk about 1 through 4 because that's the only ones that are actually about Boba. The other 2 don't even count. Are you guys upset that they have literally 2 entire episodes dedicated to Boba Fett and his series that aren't about Boba? I don't mind it as much. What are your guys' thoughts? I want to hear your thoughts on that. Is it bothering you? I know some people are upset. I know there's a couple of things people are upset about. Episode 2 is the best. What do you like so much about episode 2, Below? It was bothering you. You don't mind too much, Castle? One day we'll have a Chick-fil-A sponsorship, dude. Imagine. Episode 6, Revenge of the Chewbacca. Which one's the one where the Hutts show up? That's episode 3, right? I guess that could technically be Revenge of the Chewbacca. Whenever his kin shows up. I think it'll all tie together. Will be an opening up for the next series. I think it will too. I think they kind of needed it. I think it's a setup as well. It bothered me a little bit, but not too much. It's setting up things that need to be set up. Do you think they just purely need more? What if they just have a show called Star Wars Adventures? What if they just had a second show or like a series called Star Wars Adventures and it was just like random characters? Like for example, with the anime, they kind of just did like episodes on random characters here and there and there and there. And so like, what if they ended up just going ahead and making one that wasn't titled after a specific character, but it was titled after just Star Wars stories, you know? I don't know. I think that would be a good idea. I think that would maybe get rid of the whole this is Boba Fett show and here we go, we got everybody else in it. I like that they're tying it into everybody else. I think it's probably just a matter of like not having enough screen time. Like I feel like some of the other episodes with Boba, like the early ones, weren't nearly as long as the other ones, or maybe it was just the plot that didn't make them feel as long. I don't know. That's my thoughts. I'm glad that we've gotten to see the characters that we've gotten to see though. They only have so much episodes to work with, and I think they're trying to get some things set up for Ahsoka and Mando Series 3 without spending their episodes. I wonder how many episodes they're gonna end up revealing, or how many they're gonna do whenever they release Mando Season 3. I mean, I do wish Boba in his show, there was more Boba, but I love the content of 5 and 6 so much. That's true, dude. 5 and 6 are so good. They are. I would trade all those cyborg street thugs for an IG-88. Not really. It just seems like they're all part of the same series telling a larger story. Yeah, and then they're kind of titling it based on like who specifically is kind of the main character, but not entirely. Viria, good morning. You see your Photoshop in there? Yep, I put it up. So that's the only way that's happening. That's the only way that's happening is what we talked about. I really don't like Boba Fett. It's just very disappointing to me. You don't like it? You didn't like the last episode of Boba Fett, Darth Up? With the legendary characters themselves popping in? Oh man, call it Star Wars Legends and tell short stories about Star Wars. Oh, that's a good idea, Castle, yeah. That's a good name for it, I think, for that concept. Kind of like a live-action Clone Wars, but it could be about anything and everything Star Wars. Exactly. That way they don't feel like they have to waste episodes or spend episodes of like a more dedicated show. I do agree that Boba should have shown up more, like, and they could release that simultaneously too. So what if they had like the Ahsoka and Luke episode and everything, like over here, and it's just part of their Star Wars, like Star Wars stories or whatever you call it, over here. And so like they're releasing Boba still, like simultaneously, and then like on Fridays they release like Star Wars stories or Star Wars Galaxy, whatever they call it, and it's like boom, let's go ahead and drop this at the same time, and so you know that this is going on and that the characters are still intermingled and this is during the same time, but this episode over here is more dedicated to Boba. I think that would be very, very helpful. That'd be a really good idea. Why am I not surprised, Sup? Glorious work? Yeah, maybe. Now we got Averia in on this Ewok troll thing. Where we were sitting there in a call, me, Averia, and Chimeri, and I'm sitting here jumping around on the map as we're having our conversation. And and then all of a sudden there's this tweet that's on Twitter, and Averia took my profile picture and put that hat on it. Oh my gosh. This is never going to be the end of it. I literally sent that to Soda and said, thanks, Soda. You've made me the meme of the SWOTOR community. I appreciate it. And she said, you're welcome. I thought it was really good. Everything that they've done with the last 2 episodes, even though Boba hasn't been in them. I guess let's go ahead and we'll talk about some specific things. So I took some notes on episode 1. I haven't gotten to go through and take all of the notes that I want to. And so we'll cover some more of the stuff next week on Saturday morning. But first thing I wanted to talk about is like Boba Fett, like how old is he now? Like, did the Sarlacc pit like take away years from his life? And is the Bacta tank that he's in, is it like reversing the effects of the Sarlacc pit? Like, is it overhealing him? Or is he permanently damaged from the Sarlacc pit? And that's why he's not like as buff as everybody wants him to be, like running around just destroying everything? Or do you think that, or do you think he's actually like softened? What do you think there? That's what I've been wondering. And that'll also kind of be like some of my discussion and my theory around like Cad Bane. Like, I'm wondering if it's just that he's older and so he's not like as fast and responsive, or if he's still like really recovering in a lot of these early episodes, and that's why he seems like he's like weaker or not as aggressive and stuff. He's permanently damaged from childhood. Seems like the armor protected him and the Bacta tank healed most of his injuries. So you think that he's Averia coming in with a 4 gifted. Okay. That's technically okay. Averia and Chimeri said they're gonna. I told them I'm not making that my profile picture unless we hit 50 gifted subs during the Saturday morning stream. And Chimeri is like, you act like that's gonna be a problem. So thanks, Averia. We're at 4 out of 50. We're at 4 out of 50. We're not. Rewind actually retweeted it too, bro. That's hilarious, man. They're in on this too, I guess. Didn't they say that in episode 5 he was fully healed from the Bacta tank now? I think they did. I think they made mention of him actually being healed. Being a Hutt, my skin is always the strongest quality, so I don't really have an idea about Boba's healing. Oh my gosh. Maybe we should put this on just purely for the sake of the episode of spoilers today. Yes, put the hat on. Been waiting all morning for this man to go live. Easy, good morning. You do love the hat. I don't love the hat, but it might be necessary for these segments of spoilers. Doesn't matter. Yankee, good to see you. And Easy, good to see you as well. We're talking about spoilers. We're talking about what's happening in Star Wars right now. So if you don't want anything spoiled, just know that we are talking about that all Saturday morning during Saturday morning streams, completely dedicated to those discussions. So that is your warning. You have been warned. Oh, man. So you're thinking that he is 100% healed in episode 4. That's right. So the thing is, though, is like maybe his injuries are healed, but do you think it's like slowed down his like function, or do you think that's just from like, because he really does not seem tough at all. Like, he does not seem like, I've heard a lot of people make the argument that Mando is who Boba's supposed to be, and Boba's who Mando is supposed to be, as far as like how I guess aggressive and ruthless he is. Because Mando wasn't in Legends, was he? He was not a character that had been written at all or designed. Spoilers upset the tiny hearts of the world. Old age, you just think it's age. The Sarlacc was already dead. Oh, and so the Sarlacc wasn't doing any damage to him when he was in there? That's why he survived it? Wait, so how did the Sarlacc die? What ended up like... Because I saw that you could hear it squealing in the first episode. He like cuts through it or like punches through it and then shoots his flamethrower into it and kills it. But he'd been in there for about 5 years. Because Mando takes place 5 years after the sequels, or after the original trilogy. Mando takes place, and then Boba's in there, and then he's getting out right there five 5 years into it. Dude, oh my gosh, man. Bro. You gotta be kidding. Well, what the eggs, man? 25. Oh my gosh, bro. The digestive system didn't work. Dude, the terrible Ewok noises. That's gonna be going on for a fat minute. I hope you got the edit profile button on. Oh, jeez. There's IRL people that know me on Twitter, though. Oh my gosh. That's 30. It's gotta be for a whole month, man. Oh my gosh, Aviria, you gotta be kidding. Will's like, I miss you, Chano. I just want to make you suffer, bro. I don't think that he was in there for 5 years. I think that he was meant to be with the Tuskens for a large portion of that time. So you think he was there with the Tuskens for multiple years, not the whole 5. Be careful, we might crash the Twitch servers. No. Let's crash the Twitch servers so that way I have to cancel stream and then we can't hit the 50. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. I like that idea. Aviria and Will, thank you guys so much. Kind of. Oh my gosh. Digestive system takes 1,000 years or something like that. So could we technically do the math of 1,000 years minus, let's say 3 years. Let's say Boba was in there for 3 years. It takes 1,000 years to digest. So does that technically, golly, that noise is terrible, bro. I hate sounding so stupid. We could technically do the math, so it would really only take like 30 days off of his life if you did the math like that, right? So it wouldn't be a ton of time. Digestive juices or the stomach acids were the only thing working. Yeah, thanks for the Kappa. Now we got Aviria, Mint, and Chimeri in on this Ewok hat troll. We can't let Jono get away from the Ewok mode. How does he survive without food or water for 3 years? That's true. That's a good question. How could he survive for 3 years when he's eating and drinking down there? What is he eating and drinking? What was that thing that he pulled out of the stormtrooper's mask and like stabbed into his... He didn't like stab it into himself, but he like popped it into his mask or like attached it to it. Was it just air for him to like breathe as he was suffocating? So do you think he was only down there for like a merely... That took place like right after the battle with Luke? Do you think that he ended up being... In Legends, he escapes it in 4 days. Okay, so that's why he's super trusty and stuff, but it's not enough to like kill him. Sarlacc juices don't taste as good as you think. Guys, we're releasing our new Madrinas flavor, Sarlacc Slime. Code Jono, 20% off. You'll love to see it. You think it's only within weeks or days? It is a known fact that George Lucas doesn't care about plot holes. I was so sad to see when they killed off his sand tribe. I was too, bro. That was really disheartening to see. I didn't think they were going to do that, to be honest. I thought what they were going to do was they were going to take the Tusken Raiders, and that was going to end up being his muscle, and he was going to end up uniting the people of Tatooine, and the Tuskens were going to be united with the entire city, which had never been done before. I thought he was going to start being like the gap, or the bridge to gap those two people. That would have been sweet. Reminds me of Gamer Goo. 4 days sounds about right. So that would make sense because he's like pretty much about to die. So on that 4th day, whenever that's when the Tuskens find him. The Jawas end up taking his armor though first, yeah. And then the Tuskens end up finding him. So that makes plenty of sense. I was hoping that would end up happening. And then even whenever it gets later on in the episode and he's trying to build his army, what is that? Is that episode 3 or is that the beginning of episode 4? He's trying to build his army to go ahead and fight the Pikes. And I thought, my brain was like, man, it would have been perfect for sure to fill that with those Tuskens. But I don't know, what do you guys think is going to happen with his army? Do you think that he's going to end up getting the Mandalorians? They're going to all end up coming and helping with Mando, multiple? Or who do you guys think is going to back him up so that way he can actually do this fight and make it happen? Because right now, like, we have we have Cad Bane, who is the most deadly bounty hunter in the galaxy. Yeah, he's like in his 70s, like we were talking about earlier. He's in his 70s, but I don't know, man. Boba doesn't even seem to like Boba would have died just like that one guy did, the officer, the sheriff there in the village. I don't think Boba could have challenged him. I mean, I guess he's got his armor on for sure, but you think Wookiee versus Cad Bane? You think how do you say his name? Chrysanthemum? How do you even say the guy's name? I never understood flashbacks. Why not just start there? I think it's just for artistic purposes, you know? They want you to kind of be confused a little bit, but I was really sad. So we think that he was only in there for 4 days, and then he's entirely healed from the back to tank. So you think that's the same like shape and everything? So he was pretty much 50 in the battle against Luke when they were there with Jabba, just like 4 days prior to that. He lost to Finnick in Bad Batch. Oh, did he really? I didn't even think about that. You think it'll be Finnick versus Bane? Mando versus Bane? I mean, I guess he does have some like really just sheer power. So I guess it balances itself out, but this is literally the battle of the bounty hunters. Like, this is the two greatest bounty hunters in like Star Wars history. And Cad Bane wasn't around. He wasn't designed whenever Boba Fett was originally like portrayed in the comics. So now they're going to have to kind of figure out how they balance that. Do you think that killing Cad Bane is what's going to establish Boba Fett? Do you think that's what's going to happen? Because I'm going to be sad if they end up killing off Cad Bane, but I think that's the only option. Because they're not going to end up making a show about Cad Bane. Unless he's going to just kind of be around and he's going to be existing in this galaxy. Because I could totally see Cad going after Grogu and trying to take Grogu and just being super duper annoying, always kidnapping and taking everybody like he always does in the Clone Wars. So I'm wondering if that's what they're going to do. It's kind of like he's going to pop in and then like just irritate the crap out of everybody for a while and then go off and do his own thing. Flashbacks are a more powerful narrative device in books and movies when done properly, yeah. He lost to Finnick in Bad Batch on Kamino. In Legends, Boba escaped in 4 days, then goes and kills Bib Fortuna, and then goes and tries to kill Solo. He fails and then goes to reunite the Mandalorians, becoming a Mandalore. Really? Okay. He has a wife and daughter, and by extension, a granddaughter, and died at age 94. See, I didn't know that. I haven't read all the comics on Boba, so I don't know like all the details on him. So do you guys think they're doing some type of like they're splitting Boba's story pretty much then between Mando and him? Because what I'm theorizing, and we talked about this a little bit in the Discord chat, so we have a spoilers chat in Discord, just we can talk about stuff like as soon as it gets released, just mute that tab or don't click into it if you're not wanting things to be spoiled. But there is a chat to discuss a lot of stuff throughout the week in there. What I'm thinking is, I think that Mando's going to end up being like the savior of Mandalore pretty much. That's what they're getting at with the whole thing with the Darksaber. And so I feel like they are drawing on Legends. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You think Cad Bane will be a reoccurring villain in multiple shows? You think he'll just keep popping back in just like he always has? He is a very slippery character, I agree. Cad Bane versus Finnick was more or less a draw. I was a little disappointed that Mando had so much plot armor through the series when I imagine expected him to be as skilled and confident as Boba was when he first showed up. Yeah, I just don't know why they don't make them. I think we're so used to seeing like John Wick that that's what we want with any like gun characters in other shows that are supposed to be at that level. And I do kind of want more of like a John Wick feel, just somebody that can slay bunches like tons and tons of Jedi and just has sheer power. I want that. And I don't feel like we've got that. I feel like Mando really hasn't been as strong as he could have. He's kind of awkward with stuff, except for in that episode with Mando whenever he's on the prison ship. He's like actually kind of scary. Like that was a really awesome scene. They portrayed him really well there. And he's kind of getting there. But again, I still think that even though Mando's a little bit more like impressive as far as what they've displayed for his combat abilities, I still feel like they're both kind of lacking a little bit. It wasn't really a win for Finnick until the very end. It's possible that they're drawing on Legends using certain aspects of some for Boba, for Mando. I feel bad for Grogu. He has to pick between tank or DPS. Okay, dude. What do you guys think he's gonna pick? Actually, here, we'll talk about that here in a sec once we get there. There's just a couple of like lore things that I wanted to talk about. What the heck is that creature that's like on Tatooine that jumped out of the sand? Is that like a young Sarlacc, or what is that, dude? We've never seen that in any other portrayals of Tatooine, have we? That giant like buff lizard thing that looks like a centaur. Yeah, what was that? Something new. I have no idea. How many things literally hide in the sand on Tatooine? Like we got oh, is it a baby crate dragon? I didn't even think about that. It was like a really young crate dragon, like thousands of years young, like baby. I don't know, because I'd have to take a look at like what it looks like again. That would be cool, to be honest, if they did that. I don't think it is at all, but it just seems like they have a crap ton of stuff lurking below the sand. It makes me wonder what Tatooine ended up looking like back whenever it was like flourishing and had all sorts of like green, like growth and stuff. Back when the Tuskens were there, before the Rakata Empire ended up like destroying the planet to glass and then eventually to sand. It makes me wonder like if those creatures like evolved, or what ended up happening. Like how did they end up getting the crate dragons there that were so massive? Like how did they end up surviving everything with what we know in like Legends, I guess, with like Revan and that whole timeline and what happened to Tatooine previously? How did they survive? And then how did these Sarlaccs end up like happening? What happened there too? Yeah, because it was a jungle island paradise, exactly. I think that creature was Goro from Mortal Kombat. So it's confirmed that Disney's buying Mortal Kombat. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Prison Ship Mando is what I wanted him to be. Exactly, dude. We needed more of that. And honestly, even Prison Ship Mando, like I feel like that's what we want a lot of our characters to be, but that would actually fit Boba better. Like Boba being that scary, that would be amazing to see. That same kind of Darth Vader feel. I just feel like we don't get a lot of portrayals of like bad guy or like just showing their dominance and like how strong they are. So like, for example, I was paying attention in episode 1. I've been trying to pay attention of instances where Boba's like really shown like his other side. So there's the spot whenever those assassins end up trying to jump them right after they get out of the like cantina area when they first meet that Twi'lek lady. And once they jump him, he ends up getting that electro staff, and it like actually shows him like bashing that guy's head in with the electro staff and just like kind of going a little bit over the top. So I feel like we did see more of his savage side. And then same with like the Niktos. We've also seen whenever like he went after that gang when he had the Tusken staff and just absolutely beat the crap out of them, like super aggressively too. So we did see kind of his more, I don't know, like crime lord type of Boba Fett feel. But I just feel like they haven't made it to where it's like, it's not quite at the level that it needs to be yet. So I'm hoping they'll end up showing more of that. And then I also hope this isn't just like a one-off season. Like I hope they're not done after just one more episode. Mint, good morning. How are you doing? Oh my gosh, what are those emotes? Okay, mods, I'm gonna need some bans in the chat. Urban Legend, what is up? Guys, thank you for popping in. We are talking about spoilers right now with Boba Fett. So massive spoiler alert. Spoiler alert warning. We've been talking about Boba every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. We do a discussion now talking about what's going on in Star Wars with the most recent episodes and everything. So we're super duper deep into spoilers right now. So I don't want to spoil anything for you guys. I want to give you guys a fair chance to mute the stream, say hi, jump out for a little bit. During the week, I don't talk about spoilers. We don't. So we've designed this special segment to discuss stuff. So if you want to hang out, you're more than welcome to. But I do want to give you guys a fair warning. Mint, thank you so much. Not for anything other than the raid. I hate those freaking emotes. I thought about running up to you guys. Averia may or may not have hooked me up with a matching pup as well. And so I'm super duper stoked to be able to like show that mount to everybody. I thought about running up to you guys on pub side when you guys were on the fleet, but I didn't. Thank you guys so much for the follows. Thanks for popping in. Guys, if you're not following Mint, please go drop Mint a follow. She streams SWOTOR super duper early in the morning, so you guys can catch her streams and catch mine as well. Go and show her some love, please. No way they are. They will definitely be. You think there's gonna be more than one season with the Book of Boba? I really hope we get more of 0.5 seasons centered around various characters. Well, so that was one thing that we were talking about, guys. Exactly, Cletus. So a lot of people are upset, and I'm going to start going into spoilers for everybody that's popping in here. The one with Bike, it was nice to meet you. Yes, absolutely. Last warning, I'll give everybody 10-15 seconds to jump out of the stream before we start talking about stuff. I'll do a countdown now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Maul. There we go, bro. Yeah, so one thing that we were talking about is what if they did a show or a series that literally was just designated Star Wars Stories or Star Wars Galaxy. And what they did is they just told random stories, kind of like the Clone Wars did during that entire time period that was just dedicated to different characters. So like, for example, with episode 5, that was totally dedicated towards Mando. Since they didn't want to put that in Mando season 3, what if that's just a simultaneous story that's going on during the same time? And so what they do is they go ahead and they release, they're releasing Boba, everything dedicated about Boba. And then what they do is, like, on a Friday after they'd release Wednesday's episode of Boba, they release this Star Wars Galaxy, episode 2 of the season, and it's Mando, and he's doing everything that he's doing with the Darksaber and stuff. And then after that, then we get Luke and Grogu, because it has, yes, they're going to build into it for sure. But I think that's a much safer way to do it. And then that also gives them so much freedom to literally just explore whatever the heck they want. I think that would be amazing. I do think it ties back into it. And they could still do that. They could still tie back into it by just releasing it, and we know that that's simultaneously going on. I think that'd be perfect. Can I make a theory regarding Grogu? Please make a theory regarding him. Please do it. It doesn't bother me too much, but they don't. It is Mando season 3, but let's talk about how awesome those were. Those were cooler than the water orbs on Tatooine, which are really interesting to me. Those are super duper fascinating. Those little tiny cups that they have. I think that would be super cool if we could figure out how to actually make that IRL and have one of those water orbs on stream. I would want that. The Book of Boba Fett is a perfect setup for the criminal underworld of Star Wars. They really need to explore that. They do. I think they could do. They probably still stick with a PG-13. I don't think they'd go full all the way into rated R, even though I do want some really scary portrayals of Vader, which, guys, we got the VR headset on the way. That gets here next week. We're going to be playing through Vader Immortal for the first time. I'm really excited. So I will be doing that. I want some scary portrayals of Vader and other characters. That way we get the depth and the balance, I guess, aspect of it, because we see a lot of the good side of Star Wars. We don't see a ton of the weighty bad side of it as well. So Mando doesn't actually technically own the Darksaber. Bo-Katan was given it, and it led to the destruction of Mandalore. Moff Gideon looted it from the ruins of the planet. Technically, Mando did kill Gideon for it, but the Mandalorians are very adherent to tradition, so I don't think they will take him seriously. So here's what my theory is I think that Mando has potential to be the first ever Force-sensitive Mandalorian since the original founder of the Mandalorian people. Since, what's his first name? Vizsla. I think that would be amazing. I know a lot of people are like, why does everybody have to use the Force? But I think it would actually be insanely cool to see Grogu choose the armor, because one thing that I'm worried about is if Grogu chooses Yoda's lightsaber, which, holy crap, man. If he chooses Yoda's lightsaber, the scary thing is then does that mean he trains with Luke and then gets killed by Kylo? Or does he end up choosing the armor, going off with Mando, and then maybe he ends up coming back later on? I don't know. There's a lot of potential. What he could do is he ends up going with Mando. Mando becomes a Force sensitive, and then it ends up just being because whenever Ahsoka and Luke are talking, they're talking about the bond that's between them. And it seems to be more than just a regular bond, the way that they're talking about it. It seems like it could potentially be a Force bond. It's deeper than just a regular bond. So I don't know. I think that'd be super duper awesome. And then there's some type of prophecy. That's the way that he wins over the Mandalorian people, is that he is the first Force sensitive to be kind of grafted back into it, I guess. I don't know. Chewbacca, good to see you popping back out again. My theory is that technically it belongs to Luke right now. What is your theory? What is your theory there? I got to hear this, Ari. Murden said Grogu goes back to Mando rather than continuing the ways of the Force. That's why Mando is getting season 3 and Grogu wasn't mentioned in the films. I think that's probably reasonable. I think you're right there, to be honest, Mirden. It is sad that he has to choose between the armor though and the lightsaber, because then he'd be a tiny little jumping just ball of like power that is he's pretty much Darth Bane but as a Jedi, because the lightsabers can't penetrate through that armor technically, you know? So didn't Gideon end up in pub prison? He got arrested. Yeah, he didn't end up getting killed, but he was disarmed and lost the fight against Mando. So Mando does still technically have the rights to the lightsaber. You think Cad Bane killed him, Septile? You think Cad Bane's the one that killed the Tusken tribe? You think he went after him and was part of that raid? Good morning, Shutter. We are talking about Boba this morning. Mint, what are your thoughts? I got to hear your thoughts on the show. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of your guys' messages. The ending of episode 6 was actually super cracked. Yeah, Averia, we still need 20 more gifted subs. I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm only going to let chat talk about it because I don't want it to happen. Right, so Maul is dead, so who does it technically belong to now that he's dead? Because it was taken. But what if, no, I guess Maul would be dead. So I have a thought. We'll talk about it here in a sec, but what I thought would have been a better ending than even Cad Bane. What I thought would have been even cooler. Maul is dead, right, bro, from the line of Ahsoka. The line from Ahsoka, I'm an old friend of the family, and you're so much like your father, hits all the right places. Yeah, it did, man. That was so emotional, like seeing them there together. I just had flashbacks to Rebels whenever Ahsoka was there on, basically, what was it, Malachor? The Malachor knockoff, where she's there with Vader, and she, like, cuts his mask open. Just, like, how emotional that is. Like, they're basically brother and sister. Like, if you want to think about it like that. And so it's just so amazing to, like, finally see them together, to see Luke and Ahsoka, like, on the big screen together. It was just, like, I started, like, tearing up, just how, like, beautiful that is and the depth that's really there. And so I was sad whenever she was like, all right, I'm going to go off and do my own thing. So that was another question I had, too, the entire episode. I'm like, great, now Ahsoka's going to get killed in this temple because of Kylo. And then that really adds... If that happens, so, okay, hear me out, which this is kind of crazy for me to say because you know me and my thoughts on the sequels. If Grogu and Ahsoka both got killed in Luke's temple when Kylo pulled down the ceiling on everybody and it crushed them, then I could understand a lot more why Luke ended up getting so depressed. Because that would make me insanely depressed too. Could you imagine just baby Grogu getting squished? I know we were all traumatized when that stormtrooper just punched him in the face, so... I don't think that's what's going to happen, but that would make me understand a little bit more, for sure. I completely agree with the idea that Grogu goes back to Mando because the excessive use of them always talking about the strength of their bond is kind of foreshadowing. Also, the first time Mando saw Grogu, you can tell that he has got an instant connection. I think, yeah. The first time you saw them, you can tell he's got an instant connection. So I'm wondering if it's more than just a regular bond. I'm hoping it's a Force bond. I'm hoping it is, to be honest. Guys, how about we do that? Dudes, Raphael, dude, I was thinking about that the other day off stream and I knew I needed to make a note of it. Ladies and gentlemen, today for the first episode of Spoilores, we're going to be giving away a code for Jedi Fallen Order. If you guys haven't gotten to play through the game, we're going to be giving away a code to one lucky winner today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and a special thank you to Raphael for gifting that to the community to give away. So if you guys haven't gotten to enjoy that, we're going to be doing a giveaway for one lucky person. We'll do a marbles race for it, and we'll give that away here closer to the end of stream. So Force Dyad, what? You don't think they'll kill him off? Kira is the leader of Maul's gang. Yeah, what ended up happening to Kira? What ended up happening there? This is so emotional. 50 gifted. I completely agree. You are correct, but I don't think they will ever mention it. If I remember, it was still Maul lost to Obi-Wan. Oh, Obi-Wan lost to Vader. Vader lost to Luke. Holy crap, Ari. I didn't think about that. So are they really going to go that far with it, though? That's the question. Are they going to go that deep with it? Because, golly, can you imagine Luke running around with the Darksaber and his green blade? How sweet that would look. Oh, man. But then who's going to be the ruler of Mandalore? How are they going to fill that gap? What are they going to do there? Is it going to be Boba or is it going to be Mando? Is Mando going to end up dying and they're going to stick with like the canon version of Boba? Maybe Boba is being made soft, but this is kind of preparing him to end up like doing what needs to be done and going and taking care of them. I don't know, dude. That's tough. That makes a lot of sense. So that's big brain, Ari. Jeez. And honestly, like Filoni, Favreau, like they're big brain, you know, so they could do that. There's no way that Grogu's there when the school is destroyed. That'd be a waste of story. So here's the thing. If they're trying to save the sequels, though, that's the perfect way to do it, is to create a character that you're so emotionally attached to that you understand why Luke ends up being depresso espresso and they end up just throwing his character away, you know? And that's why he's not like all insanely powerful and we don't get to see that. But I do feel like it's been a love letter to us as Star Wars fans, just seeing like the whole frog scene, dude. What the heck, man? And Luke's track is so emotional. Are you kidding me, bro? That's what gets me in the feels. I think I could probably watch the ending of Mando season 2 like 50 times over and cry every single time. Just seeing Luke show up like that, I just get goosebumps every time, man. And then hearing that song whenever he was there with Grogu and they were training on the planet, bro, that's the best. That's peak Star Wars content right there, man. Ruler of Mandalore is Boba Fett. Wait, what? Since Luke is dead, who gets it then if we're going down that path? Yeah, did Luke technically kill? Yeah, that's a good question. Since Luke is dead, did he technically just die to him? He just died, so then it's freed from that rule, I guess? Or does it go to Rey? It goes to Rey then, technically, because she was the closest to him in proximity, and then what ends up happening is... I don't know. Luke just despawned. Sag, bro. We haven't seen anybody come back from being one with the Force. What if they did something where someone came back from being one with the Force? Would that be too plot breaking? Yes or no? Sabine is the real owner of the Darksaber. Wait, why is Sabine the real owner of the Darksaber, though? Baldo is going to be the new ruler of Mandalore. Septile said, I think Din and Grogu will show that Luke has a true attachment. Because I rewatched Return of the Jedi and Luke is kind of distanced, and that true attachment will create the fear of Kylo in Luke and why he lashed out. That'd be interesting to see. I think that's going to be... I hope they explore that more. That relationship with Luke and Kylo. I think that would be really awesome to see young Kylo and Luke. Maybe that's what they could end up using to show the weight of Luke's tragedy. Because really, that's what Luke's character is now, is he's a tragedy. His story's tragic, bro. I don't think they're trying to save the sequels. I actually don't think they're trying to save them either. I think that there's a lot to be made about them retconning them potentially and just throwing that into Legends. I mean, heck, dude, I'd be fine. I would love it if they wanted to make like a couple bill off of rewriting the sequels and pull George and Filoni and Favreau in. I would support that. Who wouldn't support that, you know? I don't think even the people that like the sequels, they would be fine with it. I'm sure they're like, I just want more Star Wars, you know, because that's what everybody says. So I don't know. That's my thoughts. I think that there's a good argument to be had there. So I do agree, Cleese. I don't think they're trying to save them, but it dies with Luke. Luke just despawned. I think that the armor is Sabine Wren. Oh, that's a good theory, Murden. Holy crap, dude. Go read Sup's comment. Sabine gave it to Bo-Katan, which goes against tradition, making everything irrelevant. So then it cuts off right there at her. Interesting. And so you think that the armor is Sabine. So technically Sabine... Wait. So if Sabine's still technically the rightful owner of it, then she's the armorer, and then Mando has to fight Sabine for it? Is that what you're saying? It hurts my heart not seeing Grogu with Mando. You can tell they're both missing something without the other. Yeah, it made my wife cry seeing that whole thing there with Mando not being able to talk to him. Let's meet Mara Jade first. Do it. Wait, do what? Just move on from the sequels. The damage was done, so just learn from them and go on telling the good stories. What is it? Kill the past? Forget the past, leave the past, kill it if you have to? That's me just stabbing the the sequels like Harry Potter with the basilisk tongue or tooth. That's me right there, dude. Sabine respects Bo, and so that's why. Didn't she say that? Didn't she say something though about Bo-Katan the armor? Or did that would be insane, bro? I would 100% be on board for a sequel retcon because the armor spoke with such spite and guile about Bo. Maybe she was bitter. Maybe she was bitter towards her because she entrusted her, and then she ended up screwing everything up, getting everybody killed. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's why she regrets her decision. The armor didn't like her because that's like 20 years out from Rebels and stuff, huh? Michael, what is up, dude? Good to see you, bro. Redcon the sequels. Moff Gideon had no problems wielding the Darksaber, but he didn't see it with the same responsibility, so it makes sense he could wield it better since it was just a tool and not a symbol to him. Well, let's talk about Mando's skills with like wielding the Darksaber. Why the heck is Moff Gideon like insanely cracked with it? I mean, I guess he's like kind of struggling still too. I'd have to go back and watch his movement technique, but why is Mando struggling with? That's another thing that ties into my Force sensitive Mando theory, is because he needs to be able to like, yeah, but just because you like have a but just because it's a tool to you and not a symbol doesn't mean it's like you struggle that much about it though. He's like really struggling. You can tell, man. It's because Mando's not a jug. He's not buff enough. He understands the Darksaber, but he just sees it as a tool though. In that comment, that it's just a tool, not a symbol. You think it's about how long that he had the saber? I don't know, man. I mean, I guess Moff, he wielded it, but I'm wondering if there is some like King Arthur type stuff with it. Maybe there's some King Arthur type stuff that prevents a Mandalorian from like properly wielding it unless they like deserve it or pass some type of like code. So maybe he like, you think it's just a mental block? I don't know, man. Probably trained with it. It's because Mando doesn't want the responsibility that comes with that. If the armor is Sabine and she gave it to Bo-Katan the Darksaber, which is against the traditions and how the armor knew how to wield the Darksaber, why did she start training Mando? I guess there seems to be a period where they were fine with, after the fall of Mandalore, rewriting and creating traditions. Because those traditions are only what? That's going to be, Mandalore happened at the very end of the Clone Wars, Rebels era. So that's what, like 30 years, 20 years? Sabine beat Gar Saxon in combat, giving her the right to wield it, and the owner of the Darksaber, but giving it to Bo-Katan goes against tradition of trial-by combat. Mando, Force-sensitive, Pepega, Pedro Pascal is awesome. Mando is not a Mary Sue. He will take his time mastering his Darksaber skills, and it will be extremely rewarding once he gets cracked with it. Dude, I want to see some awesome movement with the jetpack and the Darksaber in like sync. That would be so cool. Like just like blasting forward with the Darksaber and like cutting people in half, but like super fluid. Oh my gosh, man. And him and Grogu just exploring the galaxy, like uncovering like secrets and stuff would be such a cool thing to read about and see. Just like a lightsaber, the bearer has to be in tune with it, and Din is not at his point. Oh, dude. So that does tie into the Force thing. That ties into why like everybody's kind of struggled with it. But then again, the argument for Pre Vizsla and for Sabine, maybe he does still have to be in tune with it. So maybe there is like a hidden, maybe the Force has been present in the Mandalorian people, but there's some reason why it's not been as like present in certain ones, or it has been more present in certain other ones in moments of great need. The Force has like met them there. I don't know, man. Hopefully they end up tying into that. I really don't want them to sell themselves short on the value of the Force and the founding of the Mandalorian people. When he cut the dude in half on the table and just walked out with his head in the bag. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That's what we need for Boba Fett though, too, Mint, right? That was sweet. It was awesome seeing him like that. The Darksaber was created by the only Mandalorian Jedi. So here's my final thoughts, my final thing that I think this is kind of like a shoot off. If they wouldn't have done Cad Bane, who would it have been that was out there wandering the desert in Star Wars lore? I don't exactly know if the timelines fit. I think that they do still. Let me see. Let me find his name exactly how it is. Do you guys know who a Shared Head is? Do you guys know who this is? Rook Cast joined the Children of the Watch. I don't think Mandos are Force sensitive. I think Mando might be a descendant of Pre Vizsla. That's what I was hoping, Murden. I'm hoping that he's a descendant of him. Darth Krayt, dudes. Darth Krayt. How freaking cool would it have been? He has his battle with Obi-Wan out in the desert sands. Darth Krayt does when he's a Jedi. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm getting my lore right. How awesome would it have been if the Jedi sand person Darth Krayt ended up walking out of like the desert right there? That's who I thought it could have been at first. When I saw that cape, that cloak out there in the sand, I thought it was Darth Krayt out there, bro. And so I was still insanely excited when it was Cad Bane, but that's exactly where my brain went, was like, what if he's out there wondering? And this is like the season whenever they introduce Darth Krayt into the stories or start like bringing him into the canon. Oh my gosh, man, I would have freaked out, dude. So that was my theory, but it ended up being Cad Bane, and Cad Bane's insanely awesome, and so I started geeking out and screaming at the TV anyways out of hype. But that's what came to mind first, so I thought that would have been super cool, bro. I thought that would have been awesome. But that's kind of my that's most of my thoughts. I still have some other thoughts, like some other things that I wrote down that were freaking adorable. Were whenever Luke was walking with Grogu in the forest and he was like picking him up with the Force and then just like plopping him down. That was so cute to see, man. Oh, that was great. One thing that I thought was absolutely amazing too was, dude, so when Grogu's sitting there and he's like training and he's like putting his leg up and stuff like that, I looked over to Peyton and was like, babe, what if he starts like doing flips like Yoda? Like, what if he ends up just freaking out and bouncing around and stuff? And then he started doing that and I started geeking out again. It was so amazing. Oh, just the amount of like overwhelming like happiness and enjoyment and appreciation for Star Wars. There were so many references too, so I don't know if you guys picked up on it, but whenever Grogu is training with Luke, whenever they're training, Luke actually does the exact same moves that he does in episode was it 5? Yeah, it's in episode 5, right before he ends up going off to whenever he's on Dagobah with Luke and he's like doing his jumps and he's training with him. He does the exact same moves with Yoda on his back as he does with Grogu on his back, and that's why I knew that he was gonna get Yoda's lightsaber. Golly, man. It literally just made my life. Whenever he started pulling out the lightsabers, I told Peyton before he said it was Yoda's, I was like, that's Yoda's lightsaber. And so, oh my gosh, man, my heart was just so overwhelmed with joy as a Star Wars fan. Oh, so beautiful, well written. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna wrap up this morning stream. We have so much more to talk about, and we're gonna be doing this every Saturday from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock. We're gonna give away this code for Jedi Fallen Order. Let me go ahead and crack open marbles. These extra special streams are only made possible because of the amazing support from you guys and from our brand new sponsor, Rewind Esports, an incredible esports lounge in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. I almost said Bartlesville because that's what I'm used to saying. But in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, enabling me to create more and more content and go above and beyond. So special shout out to them. They have things that are available for adults. They have their lounge up top, and then they also have youth programs as well for the youngins to be able to get into esports and start carving out their future career in the gaming community. So special thank you to Rewind Esports. We love you to death. Thank you so much for supporting the content and supporting this episode of Spoilores. I need to come up with a way to like not enunciate that so hard. I am really excited, dudes. Imagine next Saturday when the last episode is aired, John, and we're gonna go wild. I know, dude. I can't wait, bro. I cannot wait, dudes. We are, what? Are we 15 subs away from me permanently turning this into my picture over the next month? This might be my Twitter picture over the next month if we get 15 more gifted subs. Will and Averia, thank you guys so much for getting us to, what, 35 subs? Guys, go ahead and do !play in the chat. We're giving away this code, !play in the chat for this Jedi Fallen Order code. Everybody can enter. Get your marble on the track. Here we go. You have to enter it in today. It expires tomorrow. It expires tomorrow. So make sure you redeem it today ASAP. How many of us think Grogu is gonna choose the Yoda saber? I hope that he just like front flips and grabs both of them and then like just yeets out the front door, man. Because it'd be so cool to see him as a Jedi with impenetrable Beskar armor. Seriously, War, go and watch Sabine after she gets a Darksaber and how she struggled with it. Struggled until she was mid-combat with Gar Saxon, then once she won, how easy it was to use. I'm gonna have to see what you guys are talking about more. Exclamation point play in the chat. We're gonna start it right now. 10 seconds, getting everybody in here. 10, 9, 8. One lucky person will win this code. Guys, thanks for tuning in on a Saturday morning. Wow, Mint, thank you for the huge, awesome raid. We're gonna be doing this 8 to 9 every Saturday. I'm really looking forward to this. We won't talk about stuff during the week, but it'll give us so much more to talk about on the weekends. It's gonna be great. If you guys missed some of this episode, I'll be uploading it to YouTube. I need to get my editing software fixed. For some reason, my Premiere Pro's not working, but I got quite a bit of YouTube videos planned for you guys. Unfortunately, when I went to go ahead and edit them, when I had my day for editing, my software was like crashed and messed up, and I haven't been able to fix it yet. Oh no, Darth. Lisa's in first place. This is a cool little track. Oh man, what do these like little tunnels do, these tubes or whatever? I guess if you go through one, it launches you up in them? I have no idea. Imagine Grogu fully fitted with a Mando helmet. That would be interesting, man. That would be super duper interesting. Haste for Pizza Boy. Dinosaur in second place. Behind Dinosaur, we got White Angel Troby Castle, and then we got Fitter Guy. We've lost Cold Jester, Pizza Boy, and Darth Sup so far. Dude, I thought Will had left, bro. Oh my gosh, man. You gotta be freaking kidding me, bro. No, dude. No. Oh, I'm crying, bro. Dinosaur, congrats on your copy of Jedi Fallen Order. I gotta go change my profile picture. Gosh dang it, man. Oh. Dinosaur, let me copy and send this over to you. Oh my gosh. There's my quotes right there of what we're going over, my notes. Oh man. I'm crying, bro. Dino, let me send this over to you while we're still on stream. I need to switch channels so you can't see, so nobody else can see the code. Oh, I'm crying, bro. Well, thanks, dude. Kind of. Chimera's gonna be so happy. Let me send you the code really quick. Oh my gosh, dude. Here's your code. It's on Origin, Dinosaur. Your code is on Origin. I'm messaging it to you on Twitch right now. Oh my gosh. You have Origin and you can use that, correct? Oh my gosh, I'm crying, bro. Oh. Why did you clip that, bro? Congratulations. You'll just redeem this over on Origin, and then you'll play it through that. Grogu will bleed Yoda's lightsaber to red, force choke Luke, and yeet out the door. That'd be a weird gif to see. You know that gif where it shows Emperor Palpatine falling and then he lands on the moon? That same animation style should be used to portray that as a video. Origin is EA's launcher on computer. I'm guessing since you play SWTOR, you have a PC, so that's Origin right there. You just create an account. Here is the code for you. Here is Origin. It's just like Steam, but it's EA's. And then let me send this over to you. Here we go. Dinosaur _T. And here is your code. You copy and paste this. You gotta redeem it today. So there you go. I just sent it your way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys on Monday. Thanks for tuning in for the first episode of Spoilers. I'm looking forward to more of these awesome discussions with you. I'll go change my profile picture over on Twitter. You guys can go and... Yep. Love you guys. I'll see you Monday. Bye.